Hello, and welcome back to Factorio Space Age. We are on Fulgora, and we are almost ready to send some rockets out. We have gotten our materials together to make rockets, and it should be fairly easy. And you'll notice that I am now timeline B, because I had an idea. I actually had recorded a few episodes in advance of this, and then I realized modded achievements are stored in a file locally. So I was able to edit that. Well, I couldn't actually edit it. I can restore it to previous values if I have a copy. More importantly, I realized I could go into the settings here and I could delete achievements. And if you are modded, it offers to delete the modded achievements. So I did that. And then I selectively opened up a number of old saves to trigger achievements that they had, so we wouldn't get a flurry of tons and tons and tons of achievements here. So we are ready to go, and we're back at 030, so episode 30. And you'll notice in the upper right, we still are working on Rush to Space and Logistic Network Embargo. I considered going back to before the rocket launch so I could show the achievement triggering off for Lazy Bastard, but that one was already published. So here we are. Now all I need to do is make some rockets and make some rocket silos and pull the ingredients for the rockets up and go back. And I think we're going to do a little extra stuff here. Before we go back, I am going to fix a couple of things down here in this damn sorter. So, we're only using a select set of things coming out of the sorter, and I wish I had been a little better about my planning. Perhaps in a future playthrough I will be better at the planning. Is there anything I can do about this? I don't think I can actually do much about this situation until I can use requester chests. So what I will want to do is I'm going to take these chests, for instance, ice. These ice chests are going to open up, are going to fill up. Oh, let's check our quantities here. You stack to 50, so your recycling threshold should be 2,000. Let's just check these real quick. 2,000. I'm going to check the recycling thresholds as I go. Your stack size is 50, so we should also be 2,000. Doesn't matter because we're not building up any holmium, are we? I raised some of these. Iron should be 4,000. Copper should be 4,000. Ice should still be 2,000 because its stack size is 50. If these are too high, if this is a 4,000, what's happening here is you'll notice that the ice is backing up. And it won't be too long now before it backs up to the point where it slows this down and stops it. It'll stop one lane. Brick. Okay, as I mouse over, it gives me the stack size. 1,000 is 4K. 2,000, 200, 200 is 8K. 200 is 8K, and so on. I think the rest of these are all good. Second thing is to make sure that all of my recyclers have unclogged outputs. Yep, okay, so all of the recyclers are outputting well. All of the lanes are flowing. I think, yeah. When I came down just now to come and fix this, I had in mind some changes that are actually not possible until I have logistic networks, which I don't have. So we need to do a couple things up here. We need to get rocket silos designed. And we need to get materials to build rockets. Okay, and I am currently carrying stuff. Let's turn on our builders. So, design one rocket silo, which we're then going to replicate. I think that's the right place to put the first one if we want 4. Yeah, that's kind of centered. Now you are going to want productivity modules. Always fill your rocket silos with productivity modules, the best ones you have. Okay. We are going to need to have a number of things here, and from experience, I know how this lays out. The key thing is I need to have 3 items coming in. That's going to be processing units and low-density structures and rocket fuel. I don't really know what order they're going to be in, but they're going to be all there. Let's zap this down here and get power in. And we've got boxes that we put things in, so we will have stuff coming in along these lines, hitting these inserters, which will then fill these guys up, and I want to limit my quantities here. And you, I'm going to say, enable if everything. I'm not going to even wire in what it is I'm moving, and I'm not going to wire in how many. Everything is less than n. Okay, so everything comes from there. N is going to come from over here. Okay. And you come from over here, and you are going to be wired in to provide N. N is how many parts I need for a rocket. Now, each rocket part, quote unquote, takes one of those. Okay. And I think probably putting 50 in the box should be enough. Quantity 50. And if I want to stash more there, that's good. Okay, so we are going to need to have these guys coming off of something that looks like this. And I'm doing it out here so we can plan it out. Like that. Okay, so like this. Extend the belts just to the edge here. Like that. Now you guys are all going to be out priority right. The idea is whatever's coming in on this belt, we want to provide as much of it to this silo as that silo wants. I'm going to leave this disconnected here, so when we hook up our inputs from down below, we'll only be feeding whatever silos are actually built. We're going to start off with having one built. And I am going to actually put these down. We're planning on having 4 silos. I'm going to make sure that the first one gets placed there. Now that actually would have triggered off much earlier in the playthrough. Like I said, I have rebound achievements and then sampled some of the save games so that we don't get a huge list of them. Okay, that's good so far. In fact, I'm going to bring the power up from over here. Now we need ice coming in. What I'm thinking is I'm going to bring the ice up from below and over this way. Whoops, wrong way. Oh, it's too bad I can't put one right there. Oh, wait a minute. That'll work. So I need to bring the ice up to there. So it'll be the ice on the far left. The rocket fuel will be on the innermost line. We need to bring that down. Okay. Oh, and we will need to be building rocket silos, huh? I think I'm going to start accumulating this stuff first. In fact, let's go ahead and just set all these up so we accumulate all of the rocket parts that all 4 rocket silos are going to want. And we'll just set this up so we just keep building rocket silos until we have all 4 of them. I'm going to need some place to build rocket silos, and it's going to be a little awkward because I'm going to have to request in stuff for the rocket silo somehow. Let's see. I can't really request in things, can I? However, I can put in these guys. I can set you to building a rocket silo. I'm going to say build one as long as the number of rocket silos in logistic network is less than 1. Okay. And we do that. These guys have the same condition and they have all 5 ingredients. So we need steel. We need blue chips. We need electric engine units. We need pipes. And we need those. I think I'm going to bring the pipes in over there. You're going to be making pipes. I don't think we're making pipes anywhere. There we go. The question is, okay, I can't just set the filter by right shifting on that and left clicking on that. Oh well. So your filter is going to be iron plate and concrete. So I'm going to set the filters and I'm going to start deleting storage so that these are forced to move their goodies into the appropriate boxes. So we've got steel, blue chips, electric engines, concrete. I want to put pipes in like that. Yeah, let's put pipes in like that. And your condition is you run if the number of pipes in logistic network is less than 1,000. Oh, we're not going to need this, so I'm not going to worry about that at all. Pipes. So we've got 1,000 pipes. How many do we need per rocket silo? We need 100. So yeah, we're just going to do that. So our robots are off. I need to mark steel, an iron plate, and blue chips. Oh, I don't need to mark iron plate. What am I doing? Electric motors. You know what? We have a bunch of stuff that we've received up here, which we haven't kicked out yet into our storage, and that'll get a lot of this. Concrete. That's brick. There's concrete. And where is my iron pipe? There it is. So somewhere we have electric motors. There it is. Okay, so you guys are slowly accumulating all of that stuff. And while that's going, eventually that will fill in our stuff over there. Anything here I want to kick out? When I mark this stuff for deletion, it will preferentially put it over here. Oh, unless what I leave these filters set. I let those filters set at red, so we are not going to be inserting things into this array. That's unfortunate. Again, we need to get out of here before we're done with this scrap. Right now, our scrap is arriving slowly enough that we're actually not slowing down. We're actually able to handle the rates here. Later on, this is not going to be sufficient. So, as much as I tried to make it a very nice little sorter, and I tried to give it some nice properties, it cannot handle the throughput we're going to need later on. However, by the time we need that throughput, I think we're going to have robots ready to go. So what goodies do we need up above? We need ice on the left. We need 3 rows. We need ice, and then we need blue chips, and we need... Well, we've got the rocket fuel. We need ice. We need blue chip. We need LDS. So blue chip and LDS need to come from down below here, along with ice. So these 2 lines are blue chip and LDS, and that line is ice. Ice we can bring from here, can't we? No, we can't. We could bring it from over there, though. Or we could bring it from here. Yeah, there's our ice. So next are blue chip and LDS. LDS is right here. I'm just going to bring the LDS underneath our display area here. And we need to bring blue chips in. I'd rather not cross them through any of this. We're going to need to bring the blue chips in around here. I could not have gone through like that. Yeah. So there's blue chips. Oh, I am once again going to bemoan the fact that I do not have the mech armor. I do not have cliff explosives. Ace comes in there. Blue chips and LDS. So rocket fuel will start arriving. I do want to have rocket fuel being filtered to the right. Oh, wait, no. If I put the rocket fuel filter on this, it won't let any rocket fuel go straight. This has to just be prioritization. But this guy needs to be use filter rocket fuel. As does this guy. This next one is use filter LDS. This is document what is going in. And this is use filter processing units. Now I can set all of these up just like this. I am going to set N to 100 at this point, which I think is enough for 2 rockets. Okay, so these are starting to fill. Once these are full, we'll start getting them here, and so on, all down the line. The rocket fuel is the slow one because we're just beginning to make it. And we are set up to make rocket fuel at 96 per minute, although we are short by 60 out of 960 light oil. One way of dealing with that is to put speed modules in those guys. I think actually putting speed modules in the water was overkill. Yeah, let's take the speed modules out of the water and see how we're sitting. Yeah, we do need speed modules in the water too. Okay. Boom. So everything is green except for solid fuel, which is exactly balancing. And we're getting 96 per minute. So a little over 4 minutes and we will have all 4 of the rocket fuel boxes filled up. Now I thought we would have at least one of our rocket silos done. Let's go take a look at it. What are you running short on? You're running short on steel because we didn't have much steel in our logistics area. So I need to bring back enough steel for 4 of these guys. This needs bring back 4,000 steel. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'm going to take off carry around base and handy hands and all of these things. Steel. Actually, I'm not even going to give this a thing. This is just going to say I want to be carrying all the steel. If you can get me 4,000 steel, that'll work. Let's monitor how much steel I've got on me. First of all, we're going to pull from over there. Okay, so all these recyclers had some steel. Now we're pulling from over here. Oh my goodness, and we actually have 4,000 steel handy. So I'm going to turn off logistics so the robots don't freak out at what I'm going to do here. And I'm going to deliver steel. Boom. You're my steel buddy. Okay, everything gets loaded in. I just saw somebody being sent south. Did I just see this build one? No, I didn't. Oh, haha. Right. I didn't see one place it because it's still sitting in the box. So let's put a yellow guy out here, an inserter, and the inserter is filtering to do rocket silos. And that's actually going to build one extra rocket silo, or at least it's going to start on one, but that's all right. Maybe later we'll have more rocket silos we want to build. It's got 2. Okay, well, we want to get our science back. Notice we do have our Science Express, which has been getting built. And it is apparently ready to go. I'm going to turn on that stuff so it'll bring its resupply in. We can send down all the extra stuff that we got from building it. Okay, now you are not going to be ready. Oh, you are ready to go. So basically you're requesting more iron plate, but you're willing to go as long as you have firearm magazines. That's good. Let's let the Fulgora Science Express evaluate if it's ready to leave Nauvis and head to Fulgora. Oh, and we're not going anywhere. Why? Got fuel. Waiting for rocket to arrive. Okay. So they won't depart if they're currently receiving a delivery. So apparently we have some iron plate coming up. And you can't force them to leave. What we can do, however, is let the speed go up. There now. Now you are in transit. I am going to add a weight condition here, so you don't leave Fulgora until I tell you. There's my little Science Express. Zip, zip, zip. Actually, I want to do one more thing here. Eventually, I'm going to want to have a better control over my fuel. What I'm going to want to do is I'm not going to want to put fuel in the engines when I'm just sitting. So when I arrive, like now, notice the fuel went all the way up. Our speed went to 0, and we filled the engines completely with fuel. And that's going to be wasted because when we leave, we're going to burn all that fuel as quickly as possible, which is inefficient. I want to save fuel later on by not doing that. And we can't actually reconfigure this guy here because I need to add some stuff. I'll need to add. First of all, I want to put the pumps in on both of these guys like this, which means I also will want to include him in that. I will also need to put in a decision maker over here. Okay, and this guy will be looking at all the stuff on this red line and deciding whether or not to run the fuel pumps. So there'll be a little more cleverness going on. We can't do it yet because if I actually do this, the fuel pumps will never run because I don't actually have a decider combinator to put in place. I just sent all of them down. Anyway, so you are automatic requests, all of you. And I am going to go back with the first load. So we are going to Put all those guys into the trash. Actually, I am going to just delete the ones I can delete. And now we can take this ride up. Automatic requests. Apparently this guy is asking for a bunch of things. Oh. Right, in theory, we could send him up from here. Well, I'm gonna travel to the space platform. We may be able to reconfigure the space platform here. So that's just waiting on Logistic Bots bringing us those things if we have them available. I don't think we have them available, frankly. But let's go check. All I really need is science. Okay, so you have these things being requested. The science packs are the important thing. Why are no bots bringing me science? There's 4,000 available on the planet. I'm going to go to 2,000. I'm going to turn off those requests. We'll do that once we get back to Nauvis. Hello, Fulgora. What's going on here? Well, among other things, I took away the boxes on these guys. I didn't put boxes back afterwards, so we need these guys to have boxes. According to this, all 356 of our logistic bots are busy. Ah, loading stuff into rockets. Okay, well, I'll take that. No. Okay, if all 4 of them are loading up science, the science is going to get split, and it's not going to launch any of them. So we need to get all the science out into one guy, or I need to request 4,000. Okay, now you're going to request science. So that's a weird one, which I didn't realize could happen, is that we could get all of our science spread across these guys. We turn on that. Yeah, that would be bad. So Science Express. We asked for 2,000. Why does that show? Oh. Did I have the colonizer requested in? No. Colonizer's not requesting it. Trader's requesting it. Oh, there's the 1,000 on the way. We have 1,000 more on the way. Heck, let's just go for 4,000. Why not? Let's take back a bunch of science. Come on, bots. Bring me my science. So normally I would have the science being produced near the launch pad area or belted in. No, not you. I want to make sure that only 2 rockets are being given science. Thank you. I'm going to put one of these in logistically filtered to have science in case we have to take it out of a rocket like we have been. There we go. There's one. Turn off the requests. I'm going to leave all of you guys turned on now. Okay. Trader, you have 4,000 science. Oh, haha. How about that? The trader was requesting in 4,000 science, and the Science Express is still waiting. That's okay. That means we'll have 6,000 science on Nauvis when we get there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Science Express, and I'm going to say, when you get to Nauvis, drop me, and that will actually interrupt everything else that's going on. And that will be our sign that we've gotten the other 2,000 here. On Fulgora, let's just leave two of these guys. I think we're fine. So the reason why I was requesting that on all of them was because we had the trader requesting in 4,000. We're fine. So the trader's making his way back. He's carrying all this science. Let's go to Nauvis and let's make sure we are ready to receive it. So you are set. You're expecting 1,000 science per load, which means we have a request for 4,000. Oh, this guy isn't doing the fancy stuff yet. Of course he isn't. So I need to put you with 5,000 science here. So you will download all of the science. I need to establish this as a proper setup. We won't be able to do really great stuff until later, but we can at least get this much going. So grab you, go back to Nauvis. I'm going to start from here. Okay, so we have this, which is going to be not you. It's going to be Nauvis imports. Oops. Times 5. Oh, come on. Nauvis imports times 5. I'm going to do an all science here. Also times 5. So we had all science elsewhere. It's 1,000 of each. Okay, so this is going to be what we want. Oh, you need power. Okay, so this is construct desired local logistic local just we want to maintain in the local logistic network, generally by including groups for each trader or export or express with appropriate multipliers. This guy is add description. Compute quantity we want minus quantity we have, ... Means I need a red wire from here to here. And this guy needs to be reading out the logistic network contents. We got that. You don't have power. why do you guys not like me? That's not going to have power. Screw it. Okay, so you can see our science streaming in. So this guy computes quantity we want minus quantity we have. This guy computes keep only excess, only items where we have a net income shortfall. Okay. And this is add an extra rocket full of each thing we want. We're going to do red to here. We're going to do green to here. And why we don't have selector combinators, I don't know. I will maybe have to fill that in by hand when we get there. Now this guy needs to be set requests, and we need to wipe these out like that. And I just realized that this whole mechanism doesn't work properly as long as you have stuff stuck in there. So we need to do this. All the things we import go in these boxes. And I need to make absolutely sure that none of the science goes in. So this needs to be like this. Use filters. We want to include the white science. We want to be a blacklist. Oh, and I should have gotten that done before. Yeah. Okay, how can I do this? Put this guy here. Actually, you. No. Your filter is set to that. Make sure everybody's finished up. Power, come on. This all would be much easier if I was actually on site. We are still waiting for the second 1,000. That's okay. Now we come in here and we just take these away. That puts all of the science in here. I hit Control Z to put them back. There we go. So, what do I want to research? Remember, to get these achievements, well, to get this achievement, is it both of them? Yeah, I guess it's both of them. I need to research something with Fulgoran science. The thing I really, really want is I really, really want the fancy armor, which is way down here. Is there something on the critical path here that uses Fulgoran science early? And I don't see it. So basically we can do anything we want for our first thing. This is going to require 5,000 Fulgoran science. We want something cheap. Our availables are Lightning Collector, which uses 1,000. Quality Module 3 uses 2,000. We're going to do Lightning Collector, so we're going to start you. And once we've got lightning collector, I want to go on through these guys, which means I do at that point, once we've got the achievements nailed, I want to get the purple and yellow science researched. I want to get the logistics system researched, and then we will go onwards into doing purple and yellow science things, culminating in getting our mech armor. But I'm going to wait until this is done first and I see the achievements pop, because that's the important thing here. So, boom, 16x. It's going. Okay, so how are we doing here? 893 on Fulgora. Hello, Fulgora. What's your production rate look like? You're eking along. Okay, you're making progress. We don't have a lot of production capacity here. And we are running very, very low on mining. We do have this one bit of mining down here that hasn't been getting used. I'm going to hook it up real quick. Okay, when that gets built up, this little bit of scrap will now be picked up. We've got some more scrap over here we can get if we need it. It's so low. I just want enough science from Fulgora to get my mech suit. That's my goal. Okay, so this is now flowing. 942. I'm going to just go to punching that up. 60, 70, 80. Okay, so apparently a rocket is... What's going on here? A rocket should be on its way. Oh, don't tell me that it went to the trader again. Okay, I've removed that from the trader. We're fine. You don't have any science on you. What happened to the 1,000 science that was on Fulgora? It was just there. You're there. Okay, so there we go. Come on, finish loading him. I swear these guys are going to be the death of me. Making me crazy. Okay, so we have done the lightning collector research, so now we are free to go onwards with other things. I'm going to do logistics system, and then yellow, and then purple. And then I'm going to go right onwards into the rest of these. We're not going to get any more science done until we do military, followed by power armor Mark II, followed by mech armor. Yay! And we can head back with our 2,000. Let's unlock ourselves. Here we go. And these are done. Notice they're green now. Hey! So, a technology logistics system. Let's start looking at stuff. With the logistics system in hand, I can go to a different way of making things. Completely deplete a resource patch. Okay. Apparently somebody is depleted. So first thing is I want to get my carry around. Now, I want to be building yellow science and purple science, but I also need to put down a bunch of things that we're going to be doing requester chests. So I guess the first thing I want to do is build up the requester chests themselves. We need a place to put a robot-mediated mall. Now, my original plan was to take my rocket silos here and lay them out horizontally across here, but some of these guys are long chains that take a lot of input, so I'm thinking I'm going to put my rocket silos down here. That still means that I've got this area reserved for what essentially will be a robot mall. So I'm going to start, I reserve all that for science. I'm going to start over here. We already have some things that are happening like this. I think it would be a good idea to make the logistic boxes without using requesters quite yet. I need to take a quick break, so I will be back in a moment. Okay. So quick think on that while I was away, getting coffee and such. More I'm thinking about it, more I'm thinking it is time to actually commit to using the logistics system, because we have over 10,000 logistics and 10,000 construction robots standing by. And what I'm going to do is I will use logistic robots for all of these things. I'm going to start using logistic robots for anything that we're only building a few of. And that's going to start with deconstructing all of this. So I'm going to need to rebuild. I need to have inserters. I need to have enough gears to feed the inserters, and I need the logistic boxes. But first, I'm going to rework my parametric production for these guys, because this is all good and everything, but it is not from the current playthrough. So we're going to move all of these down. In fact, let's put these in a blueprint book. I think I can just shift on them. This moves them into my inventory. We're going to take all of these parametric thingamabobbers and move them all into my inventory, where I can put them in this book, which I'm going to call Old. Because now is the time to be doing all sorts of that stuff. And I would shift click these guys to go into the old thingy, because we don't need them anymore. Now, what do I mean by parametric? Let's give ourselves some power here. What I mean is we've got a one of these guys, and you are making something. I'm going to put that on parameter 0. Okay? Which means you have some inputs and you have an output. Now, your inputs, normally if you were just doing this, you would kind of shift across. But what we're going to do is we are going to make this, we are going to actually be using some things here we do not have available yet. And we will worry about how we're going to kickstart the whole thing later. I'm going to need red chests, which I do have available. Yellow chests and red chests. I am going to need requester chests. I am also going to put buffer chests and active provider chests on my thingy here. So, you're going to be requesting in stuff. We don't have any blue chests yet. So I'm going to go into logistics. I'm going to add a section handy hands. Oh, I have a section handy hands. And handy hands is going to be turned off. Thank you. I'm going to rebuild the handy hands to build the things we want to build. And I'm going to tell handy hands to keep me in a supply of each one of those chests. Actually, let's just do 5 at a time of each one. Now, it's not going to be able to do anything. It's turned off. But let's get these set up. With 5 of them handy, I should be able to build some stuff by hand. I'm going to prioritize getting these out. Okay, like that. And there's a raw materials of some sort. Science. I guess I don't have one. So this is going to be basic mats. So if I'm going to be building things, I want to be carrying stacks of the basic materials. You know, iron and copper and steel and green chips and red chips and blue chips. So we're going to start off with that. I'm also going to see if I can request in some gears and some sticks, because why not? Actually, I don't need the sticks. Requesting some gears. It's always nice if I have some. I may need plastic. Okay. So got that. Now if I turn on handy hands, it should start making some of these guys. Now your output is going to be in a red box. We're making a 0, whatever 0 is. We're going to be bringing in up to 5 ingredients. 4, 5. Okay. And our output is going to be 0. So this is only going to work when the recipe and the output item are the same thing. Now, there will come a time when we have some recipes where the recipe is not the same as the output item, and that will get complicated. Now, the requesting, we're going to request these guys. I need to have each number be different so that I can calculate each number. If I have them all be 50, then I couldn't differentiate themselves when I start to parameterize the blueprint. There we go. By default, I'm going to trash unrequested items and request from buffer chests, so I will be able to receive items that are buffered, and I will be kicking out any items that I don't want. That may be important in some cases. It never hurts for what I'm doing here. And this output is going to output these guys. Now, what's my limit here? I'm going to say I want to make these until number of these 0 thingies in the logistics network we're going to enable until it is some number, which I'm going to set to 100 here. Okay, so there's our basic blueprint prototype. So I'm going to bring this in, and this is para dash assembly machine 2. And I'm just going to say assembly machine 2, and I'm going to mark that it's building recipe that, and I am inputting things with, I like to mark the technology that I'm using. So we're going to start off with saying we are using a requester chest, and we also say that we are using bulk inserters. So we've identified the technologies used in this blueprint right there. We go in here, and inside parametric production, this is my first one. I'm going to come down here. I want this to be at this base level where I'm just starting my goodies here. So like here. And we need to be... I'm going to put it here. Oh, haha. I need to configure it a little better than that. I also want to put some power down, which is centered between the roboports a bit. There we go. Get rid of you. I forgot to configure all of this stuff. So, parametric. 0 is the recipe. Okay, 1 is ingredient of the recipe, and so on. These guys are all ingredients of the recipe, so I don't have to put them in manually. 51 is how many of one we want. Now the question is, how many of each thing do we want? And this says item count of ingredient, so we want to have this be a formula, and I want to input enough to make several reps of the recipe, or maybe I want to put in a stack. I think we're going to have these request one stack of the ingredients. So this is P1_S. P2_S, P3_S, P4_S, and P5_S. Now, if there's any special handling that I want, where for a particular build I want a larger or smaller request, I can go into the requester chest when we're done and fix that. This final one is a parameter, and this is stock quantity. I'm going to always enter a value for stock quantity when I actually instantiate the build. It's either always or never, and I've found that it's easier just to do it always, and we can always come back later, make a copy of this, and have it be P0 stack or something. So there we go, save blueprint. Now we go down to here. I'm going to start from here, and what I want to do, let's actually put it in. No, I don't want to use anything to the left of this, so these guys really need to be out here like this. There. So I said inserters and boxes. Let's do the boxes first, because the boxes are going to be high on our list of things that we are wanting and don't have. I'm going to start off with making some steel boxes. I'm going to do 2 of these guys, making steel boxes. And I'm going to put in the second one just like this. Okay. Now, obviously, you aren't going to have the blue guys yet. I am going to put you in there. Why is that parametric old? Para like that. There. Okay, so you are going to be making yellow boxes. And we'll bring the stock quantity up to 400. Same thing with red boxes. So as you're selecting the recipe, notice the value in the stack size and the rocket. So we're going to be moving these things with rockets. So if you make half a rocket full, you'll never be able to export them. And let's see, green. Actually, let's do blue. And I'm actually going to do 2 machines doing blue, because we use a lot of requesters. Okay, and then we need somebody making a few purples and somebody making a few greens. Like that. So those will get opened up. We have no requesters, but in map mode, I can come in here and I can say, hey, robots, just like putting in ammunition in a turret. The robots will bring those guys to get these guys going. And I believe I can do the same thing with the steel chest, even though I have none. So this is one step up from being a human inserter. And okay, so we're making some reds, we're making some yellows. We'll be able to make some blues in a moment. I think I'm just gonna let these guys do their thing normally. Come on, give me some blues. There we go. Get the requester chest in, and these things really begin to kick off. Of course, if we don't actually get requester chests in here, that's a problem. Was I able to make something with handy hands? I believe I have some. So I am going to force the issue here. There. Oops. And get the red chests in. There we go. So with the boxes set up, now we have a source of boxes that were not previously available to us. Okay, now inserters. I'm going to start off with a couple of machines making yellow inserters. I don't know how many of them I'm going to need. I'm only using these to... Ooh, that is convenient placement. Okay. I need to make some long-handled inserters. Oh, come on. And I am going to go to 400 of these. I'm going to make them in 2 machines. We're going to be making some fast inserters. Again, 400 of those. And we need the green guys. I'm going to do 1,000. Oh, no. I'm going to do 400 of the buffers. Oh, what am I doing? Not the buffer chest. The green guys. I said green guys. I automatically picked the wrong green guy. We were doing the green bulk inserters, which I'm going to go to 1,000 on because I used the heck out of those all over the place. Now, once these guys are filled in, we'll be able to decide which ones we need more of. So if I Alt-X over the whole thing, this tells me that I need 2 more inserter machines to provide enough inserters to make the rest of these. We're making just enough fast inserters for the greens. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to make more fast inserters. And we'll probably need another thing of green guys too. Not green guys, of yellow inserters. Yeah, so we're going to need a total of 3 of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these over here, like that. Okay. There's one more thing we need. I need to find out where we're making gears and make sure that we're actually putting enough of them into the logistics network. So as I mouse over each one of these, we're looking at where it is. That's over in the microbase. These are all being made for specific uses. So I am going to come in here and make a ton of gears. And I'm going to try to keep a stock of 1,000 gears. Now, when I do a mall, typically I have a whole bunch of machines making gears, and I've got some machines making pipes. This tells me that I am nowhere near making enough gears for all of this. So, yeah. I think we're just going to have to accept that we're going to be making a lot of gears, and we will make a bunch of the inserters. I would need 24 more gear machines to be able to run these at full. But I'm willing to let my inserters draw my gear stock down. Now over here, let's do the whole thing. What else is low? We do not have enough boxes. Well, I'm not going to put in all the boxes I need. Oh, you would conflict with the... Yeah. Okay, I'll put in boxes like that. In fact, I'm going to take these boxes from here. And let's just have them all be in the right place at the right time. There we go. So the boxes are all together, and the inserters are all together. I just need to stretch this up in that power. So there's got our new boxes and our inserters. And I think that's going to be it for this recording. We are still grinding away on science. We are stopped on military because we haven't built the yellow science yet. It's perfectly okay. This is our critical path. I don't want to be doing any other science until I've done these. But we do now have the ability to drop down that blueprint to build any individual items that we need and have it work. I will see you in the next recording where we start to make yellow science and purple science and work our way towards hopefully getting the mech armor going. Have a good one.